Hey everyone, finish watching either the next episode of Beetleborgs or the first episode of Metallix, Crush of the Crustaceans. Nukas takes on the Beetleborgs. He reveals to them that he was the one who told Van and Trip how to defeat Borgslayer. The Hillhurst monsters watch on. Wolfgang joins the battle for some reason. He retreats after getting thrown by Nukas. Nukas then reflects a blast back at the kids, causing them to de-transform. They try their civilian powers to trap him, but it doesn't work. Nukas walks right past them into Hillhurst. He scares away the monsters and turns Flabber into ice. Even Ghoulam runs for cover. Nukas finds Art Fortune cowering in a closet. He sees the picture he came from. Art tells him his brother Les drew it. He's a dangerous man in prison. All he does is draw. Nukas thinks that sounds like a type of guy that could be really useful to him, so goes to find him. The kids look through a spell book to find a spell to unfreeze Flabber. They accidentally turn themselves into bugs while reading one of the spells. Art finds a counter spell to turn into bugs, say bug out. To turn back, say bug back. Roland surrounds Flabber with blocks of ice and a fan. The kids go with Art Fortune to stop Nukas from finding his brother. Nukas shrinks a guard and makes it into the prison and finds Les. He brings to life some new minions, Horribel, a woman with green insect-like armor, and Vylor, a finned amphibian. The shrunken guard refuses to let in Art and the kids, even though he let in Nukas a while ago. The kids use their new ability to turn into bugs to sneak in. They see Nukas send out the new monsters and free all the inmates to cause confusion. Kids don't know what to do. The end credits skit of this episode shockingly has sound. Very weird after over 50 episodes of these being completely silent. Anyway, great episode. I can kinda see why this was the first episode of Metallix and not the final episode of Beetleborgs, the first season. It serves as a good introduction for some new powers and characters. I would still prefer if the first season had a more connected conclusion. Wolfgang joining the beginning fight was pretty weird. It's rare to see the monsters leave the house, and even more rare to see them battle other monsters. It doesn't lead to anything, and I'm wondering why the scene is here. Did Wolfie's stunt guy just want to do more? I'm not sure why Flabber was freed from the organ just to get frozen by Nukas immediately after. It does oddly parallel Shadowborg's freezing ability he only uses once. Will Nukas ever use that ability again? The kids gaining the ability to become bugs kinda reminds me of Animorphs, along with them sneaking in. That's a very Animorphs thing to do. The cop Nukas shrinks is pretty weird. Despite being shrunk, he remains at his post. I'm not sure why he had a map to where all the inmates were, or why he didn't try to just shoot Nukas. At the very least, he should have had a walkie-talkie to call for help. Maybe Charterville just has horrible law enforcement. Way back in the episode Haunted Hideout, we see a security guard who did nothing during a robbery at a bank, a detective who thinks holding civilians will accomplish something. Though there was a motorcycle cop there who reported seeing something weird, he followed the robbers and called for backup once they were seemingly cornered. Like, that all makes sense. Those same robbers, though, did apparently end up on the police force themselves. Check the episode Revenge of Vexor. They slack off from work to get donuts. More than once, it's implied. The new bad guys are introduced. Nukas finds Les Fortunes. He's a crazy-haired guy who crouches for some reason. Two of his pictures are brought to life, Horribel and Vylor. Neither appear to be goofy or fun-loving like the Magnivores, so that's a bit of a step down. Horribel appears to be a pretty standard henchman. Vylor has even less to infer. Definitely the biggest downgrade from the first season is the new villains. Maybe they'll become more interesting as the show continues. Les Fortunes was played by Marshall Hilton. He's been in quite a few movies and TV shows, as well as voiceover for audiobooks. He was a voice actor in the CGI film The Amazing Adventures of the Living Corpse. He remains active in film and television, as well as production and photography. Horribel was played by Claudine Barros. She had roles in movies throughout the 2000s, then switched to voiceover. I'm not sure what she's doing now, possibly still voice work. Her most recent credit is ADR voices for Rio 2. Vylor was voiced by Dave Footman, who previously played Typhus. It's nice to see at least one kinda familiar voice is sticking around. Metallix is off to an okay start. Everything feels a bit rushed. Maybe once the new powers are established, things will start to feel a bit more normal. So that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya. Somebody